Hey, it's John with Vision Advisors, and welcome to another Insight with Vision. We're wrapping up Disability Awareness Month, and I want to point out an article that you see here on the screen from Morningstar. This is their 2018 must-know statistics about long-term care. I'll have this article posted to our Facebook page and to our LinkedIn page, so you can go back and reference that later. But a couple of things in this article that really jumped out to me, and that was the fact that even though high net worth people may have the resources to pay for care, the article points out it is very important for them to count the cost. Why? Because the studies and reports that are coming out today have shown us that the longest individuals on claim currently receiving benefits from a traditional long-term care insurance policy are running somewhere between 8 and 10 years currently, with a payout by the insurance company of somewhere between $1 and $2 million in benefits paid out over that 8 to 10 year period. And that claim's still ongoing. And there are other long-term claims, if that makes sense, to be able to explain the enormity of this problem that we're getting into. But the biggest issue we see right now is that the vast majority of individuals don't have a deep enough pocket to pay for this themselves. And so looking at ways to address this issue using asset-based long-term care, using annuities with income doublers, using life insurance with accelerated death benefit features to pay for care, all of those come into play as different ways to solve this disability planning problem. This is a big issue. And again, with retirements lasting 20, 25, up to 30 years or longer, because we're living longer than previous generations. Longevity has become the norm. As a result of that, we're now living long enough for those age-related illnesses and injuries to have impact into our lives. A couple of things I want to point out as we go through here. We've already talked about in previous articles about the usage of long-term care, who's using it and why. But I want you to notice a couple of articles here. Number one, paying for care. In the year 2000, $30 billion was spent to pay for long-term care expenses. By the year 2015, that number has jumped to $225 billion. That was the total revenue dollars spent for long-term care expenses in 2015. That's a significant number. One other issue I want to point out is caregiving. This sandwich generation we've previously talked about, those who still have children at home between the ages of 45 and 65 mostly, but they're now caring for aging parents in their home or having to relocate to be close to aging parents and taking care of them while still raising their own family. This sandwich generation has dwarfed 34 million Americans. Think about that. 1 in 4 American families between 45 and 65 are part of this sandwich generation, having to provide unpaid care for an elderly loved one as this massive issue of long-term care continues to swell its ranks here in America. That's the downside of longevity, is living long enough for these issues to come into play. So as we think about Disability Awareness Month and we think about wrapping this month up, remember that disability awareness is not just protecting the paycheck during working years. More importantly, it's also protecting that Social Security check and the other revenue sources that are funding retirement from premature distribution due to an unplanned long-term care event. So as you're having client conversations this month, raise the disability awareness conversation. Start that dialogue with your clients, because we see that long-term care is still the area of denial that individuals today and families today are still dealing with. You can be part of the solution, and we at Vision can help you be part of that solution. We're here to help. 1-800-505-8489 is our number. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day.